And welcome again to the big match. Today, the mystery of a referee's booking in the Chelsea-Arsenal match. Was it a case of mistaken identity? And did he book the wrong man? The newspapers have had their say this morning. Wrong man, ref. Osgood takes rap for Ghana foul, says one. Hey, ref, Ozzy didn't do it, says another. Also, football which borders on the farcical as Liverpool and Derby clash excitingly in a snowstorm. And in more snow at Huddersfield, Luton Town continue their push towards the top of the second division in a game with some crazy goals. But first, it's across to Stamford Bridge for the big derby game between Chelsea and Arsenal, a day when Chelsea will hope to prove their returning form is an established fact, when Arsenal will seek another success towards the top. Both sides unchanged. That hasn't happened very often for Chelsea this season. But now they'll hope that the twin menace of Osgood and Garner can unsettle a formidable Arsenal defence. As for Arsenal, this in fact is the side that came through that remarkable and successful cup replay at Leicester in midweek. But it means that for Frank McClintock, there is still nothing more satisfying than the substitute's shirt. The referee for this game, and I confess it's the first time I've seen him with a beard, is Tom Reynolds of Swansea, now about to get the game underway.
So Chelsea kick off, defending their goal to our left against a side that I suppose will have to live a little longer with that lucky Arsenal tag after their exploits at Leicester in midweek. But Arsenal, who come with a good record here at Stamford Bridge against London sides this season, they've not lost to a single London side and have beaten West Ham, Palace and Spurs and drawn the match against Chelsea in September at Highbury 1-1. A throw to Chelsea. Both sides still involved in the FA Cup. Arsenal a lot more so in the league, though, lying second to Chelsea's 8th. Osgood and Simpson, a great battle between them in prospect. Osgood wanting it, Harris getting it, and Hollins outside. He crossed nicely there towards Phil Garner again, and Wilson had to grab that one. He couldn't risk that going inside the post. It may well have hit the post or gone fractionally outside, though, from Garner, but Wilson could take no chances. That'll come for Harris. Garner again out there. Oh, and he's rounded Rice beautifully. But the cross wasn't all that it might have been, and he's still not quite there, though. No, and finally, it was Story who got it away. And it's just gone out of play for the corner. That was a lovely piece of play by Bill Garner on the far side, and his cross, which didn't at first look to be a good one, eluded Wilson. And Chelsea got this corner. Garner now heading it down, and it was Rice who nodded it away. Hudson turning it back once more. Osgood, and he's outnumbered, and it's Kelly, in fact, who turns it back to Wilson. So a good rousing piece of action, but with nearly a quarter of an hour gone, still no score. But all the attacking intentions are the right intentions here. Armstrong. Kelly. And a foul there on Kelly, which causes the trainer Fred Street to come on again, and Arsenal will get a free kick. Somebody who clearly would remember the game between these two sides at Highbury in September, David Webb, with Chelsea leading close to the end, an own goal made it 1-1. So Kelly all right again. Arsenal's free kick. Pat Rice taking it. Chipped forward towards Radford. Story. And now McNabb. Blockley. And now Harris to lead the charge of the blue shirts the other way, but a poor one straight to Rice. Dempsey. Garner versus Blockley. Dempsey planted forward again for Bill Garner. And now for Hudson. This is Locke. And still the big men are waiting in the middle for the cross. Hollins. Hollins again will hit one! Curling away all the time. But Hollins, possessor of a powerful shot from that sort of area, just outside the penalty area. The reluctant substitute, Frank McClintock, he'd much sooner be out there playing Bertie Mead, the manager. It's Garner again. Turn inside that time for Harris. Only a Chelsea men forward. They've planted a lot forward now. Osgood is one of them as he goes in for it, but Blockley back off there first. Handball came. The Chelsea crowd story had his back to me, so I couldn't tell myself. But referee Tom Reynolds was facing Story and said no infringement. Garner. Oh, a nice header there by Garner. Fooled everybody, and Hudson was there. Really was aware of Hudson, and a few others were. But Nab's header away, and Chelsea's throw. Hudson. Pushing and shoving there between Kelly and Hudson, and the referee decides it's a free kick to Arsenal. So Alan Ball now takes it up for Arsenal. That was good. Lovely drag back there that beat Alan Ball. Plays it now into the path of Hollins with Baldwin ahead of him. And Webb has gone surging right in there. David Webb with the header. Deflection wide. A really mighty run by Webb. From something like the centre circle. And as the move developed down the right, it was Webb's blue shirt that was surging through the middle. But Arsenal get a goal kick. And in truth, their defence has been in very little danger so far. Harris. Garner stopped by Blockley. Hudson delicately inside there for Garner. Big man who did well to get that across towards Baldwin, and Baldwin was hustled off the ball by Simpson. Ball still in play. And now Baldwin for Chelsea. Osgood. Ball down by Simpson, no penalty given. Osgood is furious about that, and the referee was on his haunches watching it very closely indeed, and decided no penalty. And so now it's the two front runners for Arsenal. Radford. With Kennedy right up there, a deep cross there towards Armstrong, and ball had gone in. And just over that Chelsea penalty area. And Chelsea are still looking furiously towards this referee, Tom Reynolds, for not giving that penalty when Osgood was brought down by Simpson. But you can only say the man himself was no more than 5 yards away from the incident and saw no penalty infringement. Chelsea get a free kick. Dempsey taking it. Garner homing in on it, getting ahead to it as well. Webb versus Radford. Both miss it. And Osgood is all right, he's onside. Now, can he get to that one before Wilson? Still a chance there for Osgood, and it's over the top. So there's applause for Osgood for the way he chased it on that one. Physically got the better of Wilson there, but the angle really was too sharp in the end for him to turn it back to any effect. the Arsenal hut, and that's the Chelsea hut. Peter Houseman looking around the corner. John Boyle, the substitute, as well. And now McNabb taking it up for Arsenal. Story. Simpson. Hasn't come forward too often, Peter Simpson. Story, who's been doing all the pouncing in the middle of the field, and there he is again. Towards Kennedy. Back this time for McNabb, and he let one go and it hit David Webb. And now Chelsea with a gap ahead of them. Now Garner, can he stretch those long legs? Just look how many red shirts are back. 2, 4, 6, 8 plus Wilson. And down went Ball. In the clash with Osgood, and Osgood I think might be booked for this. Looked to me as though the referee was pulling the book out. And Osgood and Simpson and McNabb, and the pushing and the shoving is starting when they know it can do them no good. Story was in there, Hollins was having his say, and now Tom Reynolds, the referee, is having his say. And Osgood's name. And now Ball. Armstrong. Well, it's been a rugged first half, although there's been a lot of emphasis on attack. And some good tackling back there by young Gary Locke on George Armstrong. So a rugged first half. Let's hope that little bit of skirmishing there in the name take won't provoke a lot more of it. So a lot of Arsenal players are up as Armstrong again takes this corner. Kennedy was hoping to get ahead to it. It might come back for Armstrong again. No, it's another corner. Armstrong again with the corner. Chipped again towards Kennedy, tried to get a back header in. Baldwin back heading it away to Kemba. Story finding Armstrong, and now McNabb. That'll fall for Alan Ball, and Osgood now to bring it away. Again the drag back that fools Kennedy, and the pass that finds Kemba, and now with Baldwin. And Kelly in there. A collision between him and Baldwin. And Arsenal get a free kick. Into injury time now at the end of the first half. Osgood, again the flick for Hollins. The long ball towards Garner. Hudson, a lot of space over on the left. There's Harris. Kemba on the far side. Hudson. And now Harris. Last few seconds now of the first half. Garner going in for this one. And Kemba was hopeful of finding something, and it goes under Baldwin's feet. And Alan Ball taking it away. And Radford is onside. Webb put him onside, there's no doubt about that. But straight at Phillips. Looks as though he was colliding heavily with Webb as well. Caught his back. And Hollins puts it away so that he can get a bit of treatment. Bob McNabb, who I must say seems to have recovered completely now from that long and worrying groin injury. Been very lively indeed in this first half. In fact, the whistle goes for half-time before the game can be restarted.
Hello everyone, there were no...
So no goals after a rugged first half, not a rough one entirely, apart from that one bit of skirmishing. And I suppose the big talking point at half-time for a lot of people was, should it have been a penalty when Peter Osgood was brought down by Peter Simpson. Osgood, who also had his name taken in that first half, but he's left after a lot of good attacking football, but two strong defences as well on view, with a half-time score that reads Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0, and we'll bring you the second half in a couple of minutes. Welcome back, and it's Arsenal then who get us away at the start of the second half. Arsenal with the best defensive record in the whole of the Football League, only 25 goals conceded in 27 games. Although they've certainly been put under more pressure in that first half than the Chelsea defence. A nice lock. Little enough space there, and it was inevitable that it would go into touch. John Radford back on the field, you'll notice. He was injured right on half-time. There is Dave Sexton, the Chelsea manager, on the right. Eddie McCready, the unfortunate Chelsea player. Hudson. The rebound came nicely for Hollins. Hit one first time, and Wilson had to make sure that he got right behind that one. Webb in first. Osgood. Played for Hudson, with Locke making the overlap down the right for him. Osgood, all touched very delicately over Ball's head, and it's Hollins again. Trying to get a 1-2 going, and Garner going in hard, and Wilson going down, both at the feet of Garner and Hollins. Wilson really caught it in the back there. And Frank McClintock is coming on. And Eddie Kelly is going off. So Arsenal bringing on their substitute. Here's McClintock coming on to bolster still more a very, very efficient defence, having his studs checked as he must. But that really is a checking too, both by linesman and the referee. Gone straight into the back four. That could well allow Simpson a little more of an adventurous role, I would think. Here's Garner. McClintock's first touch finds him under pressure from Kemba, but Chelsea get a throw. A good long throw there, back heel by Garner. Oh, and just almost getting that in as he was on his knees. And Wilson parrying it when he really could have known very little about it. Cross again there towards Garner, and just over that Arsenal crossbar from Bill Garner. McNabb. Hollins. Played for Baldwin, who was onside, but there's no support up there for him yet. Crossed again there, and had to be nodded behind, and very fiercely indeed, by Frank McClintock. So Chelsea get a corner. Baldwin, in fact, doing all that could possibly have been asked of him in that situation. So little support. He delayed it a moment and swept it back so well. And here's the corner. Garner's leaping for it at the far side. hoping still that he might find something. But all Chelsea have got is another corner. So look how packed that goal line is now. 2, 4, 6, 7 men on that Arsenal goal line. Hudson again with a corner, a much deeper one. Hollins jumping at the far side. Dempsey hoping to be able to turn it back. That looked very much like Kemba fisting that on towards Hudson, but the referee didn't think so, and there's Wilson behind it once more, so no damage is done. And now Simpson. Webb. Losing control. Story for Arsenal. Ball then to Armstrong. Game picking up a little bit of pace and momentum now. Rice. Armstrong, good bit of interchanging there by the Arsenal players, and the cross far from a good one by Georgie Armstrong. Into the path now of Kemba. Osgood. A lot of space for Chelsea on the right, and it's Hollins and Locke between them filling it. Chip there as Garner again goes in, hoping that the ball might fall for him, and it doesn't. And Arsenal once more get it away. Harris with the throw. Harris again. Found just a yard or so of space to get that across, but it's Kennedy now for Arsenal, leaving it for Ball. Radford. Armstrong. Story. Ball turning it off again. Can Radford get his shot in? Can he get his shot in again? Kennedy! Yes! Ray Kennedy! Well, it was bobbing about long enough. And then when it fell loose, Ray Kennedy put the finishing touch to put Arsenal into the lead with only 8 minutes to go. Now it's Hudson. Harris, set. Radford. Kennedy. Oh, and he puts it straight to Garner. Played for Osgood. But just how many Arsenal players have come back will give you some idea. Only Radford is forward for them now. The slightest sign of danger. Simpson unfairly harassed though by Steve Kemba, giving Arsenal a free kick as well. Chelsea have really got to go firing on all cylinders now in these last 6 minutes or so to pull it back, and it's Radford once more taking it up for Arsenal. And the cross that is too hard. And the Arsenal manager, Birdie, I'm sure, ruminating once more on that old Arsenal ability to be under pressure and look not likely to score for so long, and then clinching the goal that could be the vital one. And here come Arsenal again with Ball. Through once more to Kennedy. For Ball. And there's Armstrong, but he's offside. He's offside. Taken beautifully, but the linesman was flagging away before George Armstrong actually planted that ball into the net. Osgood's header. And Garner. McNabb going in hard, but it's got to be Chelsea's throw. And in fact, it's a free kick. A foul by McNabb on Bill Garner. And it's going to be Hollins once more to take it. And now with Chelsea with nothing to lose, have got to plant a lot of men forward. Webb is in there too. And Osgood couldn't get ahead to it because Radford could. McClintock. Meant it to go down the wing for Armstrong, but in fact it's into touch. Locke. Baldwin off his body. Osgood. Dempsey. Locke. The long ball forward again. Garner jumping hopefully for it. And Hollins going in, and he couldn't quite turn that back through that wall of red shirts once more. But it's gone off Arsenal for another throw to Chelsea. And the referee having words with Peter Osgood again about something, and with Bill Garner. And Garner's name is going in the book. G-A-R-N-E-R. But what it was for, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you. And Arsenal, who since that terrible 5-0 defeat at Derby, have now gone 8 league and cup matches without defeat. Or rather 8 games in the league, 2 in the cup without defeat. That really has restored their morale, and Ray Kennedy's goal has put just a little bit more pressure on Liverpool at the top of the First Division. A hard and a rugged game with few chances for either side, and it was Kennedy, the man who made the one that really counted.
Hello, everyone.
So that we have a final scoreline here at Stamford Bridge that reads Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1.
Well, that in truth was a pretty boring match, but it did throw up 1 or 2 controversial points as well. Firstly, of course, that first booking, and it illustrates beautifully the problems of a referee who has to be right first time, because I thought Peter Osgood had committed that foul and not Bill Garner. So too did most football writers that I spoke to afterwards, and it was Osgood who was booked. But this morning's Sunday Mirror says they have a picture to prove that it was Osgood. This is it. Who done it? Sports Mirror solves the Chelsea mystery, and with that picture there they confirm that Peter Osgood was the guilty man. But the Chelsea manager Dave Sexton insists that Garner was the man and not Osgood, and most papers have taken up that point. Wrong man, ref. Osgood takes rap for Garner foul. Hey, ref, Ozzy didn't do it. Or if you like it, I kicked Alan Ball, not Ozzy, says Bill Garner. Well, we have a chance to look at it a second time, which of course the referee didn't have. He could have made a mistake, I suppose, but let's look at it again now with Jimmy Hill.
Well, let me make one thing clear to start with. This is a very difficult one to decide. We've looked at it over and over again and we're still not sure. Let's first of all see it as the referee saw it in normal speed. There's Garner there, tussling with Ball. The kick comes in, Osgood comes in from the other side, and Ball is left writhing in agony on the floor. Well, we didn't see very much from that because it all happened so quickly. Let's look at it now from Bill Garner's point of view. Only look at his part in the incident. This is in slow motion, and this should give you a clearer picture. Number 11, there he is. You can see, I think, why he gets excited, because Ball pushes him and takes the ball away. And he chases after him there. Watch the swing of the foot. Does that make contact or not? That was Garner's part in the incident, and we'll ignore the rest of the picture for the moment. But now I want you to look at it from Peter Osgood's part in it. He came from the other direction, and where I was sitting in the stand, that's the only thing I could see, because Peter Osgood shielded all the rest of the incident from me, and I, for one, saw no reason to take anybody else's name but Peter Osgood's. Look at Osgood, and on the left of the picture, you'll see his foot come in, jumping in. There it comes now. You see, right where Ball's foot landed. So I think without any doubt that Osgood did jump at an opponent, and obviously the referee saw that and judged that it was a violent tackle, and that's why he took his name. But now let's try and get a clue, if we can, from whether Alan Ball was hurt, or if he was hurt, where he was hurt, and where he showed signs of agony. This time we look at it once more. Alan Ball's part in the incident. No doubt there was a push there to keep Garner away, but watch as the kick comes in. Whoops, I think that did hurt. Then Osgood shoulder charges him there, even though he's trying to avoid him. And look, what's he clutching now? The right leg, the left leg, the front of the left shin. So there's, even now, a complete mystery for you to solve. And I think all it does, it certainly convinces me, and maybe it does you too, the difficulties of being a referee in trying to untangle that incident and sort it all out. I wouldn't want to be a referee and continue to do that kind of thing. But if you're still keen on being a referee, let's look at the penalty decision that took place yesterday. Another controversial decision because Chelsea felt they should have had a penalty when Simpson fouled Osgood. We see it now in normal speed, ball coming into the edge of the area, Osgood goes to collect it there, Simpson's left foot catches him. Was that in fact a trip or did it happen accidentally? Now in slow motion we see it, takes the ball down, the left foot I think does make contact, but maybe Ozzy making a meal of it there with that theatrical dive was his own worst enemy in getting a penalty decision given for him. So much for the instance. What about the game? Well, it was a bit of a boring game. It was locked, as was the Chelsea Derby game a few weeks back, in the middle of the field. Both teams a little bit frightened of each other. There wasn't a lot of space in which to play football. Far too many bad passes. If I'd had to award a points decision, as they do in boxing matches, then I think I would have given it to Chelsea, because they at least did take the play forward. But in football, it's not judged on points decisions. It's judged on whether you get the ball in the net. And for me, just two incidents expressed that game yesterday. First of all, when Chelsea carved out a marvellous opening for themselves and Bob Wilson anticipated Baldwin's header and brought off a marvellous save. There's Garner winning the ball well. Osgood touches it on there, and Baldwin, look how close he is to the goal. Wilson took a chance in 1,000, anticipated where he was going to throw it, and kept Arsenal in the game. And now, the move that brought Arsenal's goal. Radford in the middle of the field. In fact, there were 4 or 5 passes already before he picked it up. Armstrong on it now. This was late in the game where Moorham was emerging. A good first time ball from Story, a lovely flick from Ball. And here it's Radford's courage going in against that kick of Locke's to breast the ball down, and it's unselfishness that gives it to Kennedy there to put it in with his left foot shot. One side can't miss a goal or have a fine save made against them from 3 yards, and the other, in maybe one of their few movements of the game, get the ball in the back of the net. That's what happens in football. You can say lucky Arsenal, you can say Chelsea were unlucky, but the result was Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1.
Well, I'm not going to say lucky Arsenal, because the last time I said that I was absolutely inundated with angry Arsenal fans writing me to say that they get drawn away so often in the Cup that they can't be lucky, but that's another story, I've no doubt. Our next action today, though, is that game of crazy goals that I was telling you about at the start of the programme, played on a crazy surface in impossible conditions. It's Huddersfield against Luton Town, with Luton striking hard towards the top of the second division these days. See them in action now. The pictures come from Yorkshire Television. The commentator's Keith Macklin. Luton are in the dark shirts and stand by for those goals.
Lawson up towards Gowling. Thompson, Heinsohn, Moore. Aston's head. Lyon going across. Lyon having to put it into second time. Clark. Oh, Clark right to the feet of Jimmy Ryan. Jimmy Ryan trying to find room to shoot, and does so. Well caught by Poole. Barry. Taken by Stephen Smith. Fairclough. Good tackle by Garner, well timed. Lawson. Good one for Hutt. Hutt, a good effort. A goal! Still, Jeff Hutt put Huddersfield in the lead with a shot that Keith Barber, the Luton Town goalkeeper, so he stood and watched. It rolled right over his head and into the corner of the net. Jimmy Lawson the pass, Jeff Hutt the shot, and Barber rooted to his line, hoping the ball was going outside. So Huddersfield Town go into a valuable lead. with every point precious. Not only to them, but to Luton Town. Clark almost falling down in the snow. Oh, what a gift! What a gift by Clark! It's a goal! No, it is. Yes, it is. What a gift from Dennis Clark. A gift at each end in a minute. Dennis Clark putting it on a plate for Butlin. Butlin was the man trying to get that, and he got it this time with Jimmy Ryan. An appeal for handball, yes. Mr. Reeves was on the spot. Hutt using his forearm, fortunately outside the area. Steve Smith telling Jeff Hutton to argue and get into the wall. John Aston. Oh, it's a good rising shot. Walloped it good and hard, and it just rose over the bar. John Aston hitting that. John Ryan. Butlin chasing with 3 blue and white jerseys, one of them sure to get it. Nicholson. Barry. Back to Nicholson. Lawson. And Barry. That was meant for Stephen Smith. Heinsohn for Luton Town. Just managing to keep it in. Slough chasing that. Slough will get there. He can cross it. Butlin trying to put that back for John Ryan. Stephen Smith saw it. Pugh taken off him by John Ryan, who came right across for that. Caught. Poole's missed it. It's an own goal. It's an own goal by David Ryan. You can't blame him for that. Terry Poole dive, missed it, and Lyon couldn't get out of the way. Luton Town go into a 2-1 lead. John Ryan put the ball over. Terry Poole missed it, and Big Dave Lyon just couldn't get out of the way.
In fact, Luton doing very well in the second division now. In fact, 3 clubs in the London area doing well. Queen's Park Rangers lying second. Fulham, you may have noticed, have shot up to 4th. Luton are lying 6th. But now it's time for some of your letters. Jim and I never cease to wonder at some of the things you spot on the programme and some of the things that you think you spot. There were, of course, a lot of you who thought that Chelsea had a perfectly good goal by Tommy Baldwin, disallowed at Brighton last week, claiming that Bill Garner had pulled the ball back so that Baldwin couldn't possibly have been offside. Martin Carver of 9 Latchmere Lane, Kingston in Surrey. S.J. Wilby Shelbelove, a Class 2 referee from 58 Iron Mill Lane, Crayford in Kent. Geoffrey Stedman, 15, of 1 Milton Gardens, Tunbridge in Kent, and Mr. D.R. Shute of 23 Borough Road, Northam in North Devon were just some who were left wondering. Jimmy?
I thought too that it was a good goal, but that moment's the moment the linesman, who we can't see out of shot, thought that Garner had gone too soon and was offside. From that moment on, of course, it was a good cross, and as Baldwin came in from behind the ball, he certainly couldn't have been offside from that position. But it was a pity in some ways because he took that goal so beautifully at the end of it, it was a perfect finish.
But what about this one from 11-year-old James Gray of 110 Jefferson Road, Sheerness in Kent, who thought he caught the Chelsea substitute in that game, who of course was John Boyle, smoking a cigarette while the game was going on. But this, in fact, is what the young man saw. Those poor Brighton lights, I'm afraid, but you can just see on the far side of John Boyle, the substitute, sitting in the centre there. The hand goes up, but it's the hand not of John Boyle smoking the cigarette, but of the Chelsea trainer, Harry Medhurst. Well, last week we switched from the 1-goal victory of Wolves against Manchester United in the Cup, which we'd intended showing you, to the thrilling Manchester City-Stoke game. And several Wolves fans have written asking to see that vital Wolverhampton goal. Annette Munro, who's 15 and comes from 1 Fountains Close, Basingstoke in Hampshire. And then we've got Audrey and Peter Dale of High Road, Laindon, Basildon in Essex. We're just a few who wanted to see Mike Bailey's goal after only 2 minutes that beat Manchester United.
Mike Bailey placing the ball. A little chip. Richards trying to get up. Still there for Hibbett. Dugan. Bailey to try it. Good try, good goal. Mike Bailey.
And that was the goal that put Manchester United out. So much then for our letters today. Our last action today, though.
Hold on a minute, Brian. I've got a letter here. I'm afraid I've got a letter this week. Come from Mr. Alan Gould. What a charming man he is, too. And he said, congratulations for a difficult job well done. He was talking about the commentary last week. And he said, and gratitude for not subjecting us to the running commentary. He goes on, some Sundays I'm so infuriated by Brian Moore's incessant prattle and near hysteria and goal-mouth incidents that I turn the volume down and watch it in blessed silence. He says, less of Moore and more of Hill.
Well, I'm glad you got that one, Jim, because I got one as well from Howard J. Brown of 354 West Barnes Lane, New Malden in Surrey, who says, Dear Mr. Moore, please, please, no more of Jimmy Hill's commentaries for the big match. That incessant waffle, an analysis of moves as they developed and the final judgment as the ball went out of play give rise to my comment, just who does this big head think he is?
I'll tell you what we do, Brian. I'll keep this one and you keep that one.
It just goes to prove that, like referees, commentators can't please everybody, doesn't it? I just happen to think that Mr. Howard J. Brown is a bit nearer the truth than the other fella. Well, we come to our last action today, which brings together the prospective champions of the First Division, that's Liverpool, of course, and the present champions, Derby County. Again, terrible conditions of snow and cold, but even so, 45,000 fans were there at Anfield, along with Granada's cameras and commentator Gerald Sinstadt. Now, they had one innovation at Anfield in the snow yesterday. They had linesmen who were wearing fluorescent jackets, so that the referee can see them that much better against the dark background. That seems something that ought to be encouraged.
Just over a year now, and 30 league and cup games since Liverpool last lost here at Anfield. And in the league, they've won 21 consecutive matches. Webster. Aim for O'Hare, and he's round Lloyd. And Lloyd gets back to tackle. Goal kick has been given. Players have had almost no experience this season of conditions like this, and we can't expect them to do very much for the first 10 minutes until they find their footing and come to terms with these conditions. Ray Clements, one of 3 Liverpool players who are in the England squad. Roy McFarland also from Derby, of course. That was Hennessy's foot. O'Hare. Little touches are not going to come to much on this pitch. And that's one back for Bolton, and it didn't carry as he expected it. They really are having terrible trouble. Ball won't bounce for Bolton. Davis. Lindsay for Liverpool. For Keegan to chase. Tackled by Todd, completed by Webster. The ball hadn't gone out. Forecast is that the snow is going to turn to rain, and the sooner it does that, the better. It might just clear this top surface, and the players' boots would tread it in, and it would be a bit easier to play on, although heavier. Keegan. Callaghan. Lawler on his right. And out on the far side was Lindsay, picking it up. No, Callaghan gets it himself. Forced back into his own half. He's in dead trouble there. He needs some help from someone. And that was persistence by Powell that troubled him. Hector. They just can't get the ball to move. Highway. Still in play. And the linesman flagging in Liverpool's favour. And I suspect that the referee will have given a free kick. Hughes to Lindsay. Callaghan. Cut up by Hennessy for Derby to Davis. Nish. Cormac getting it back to Clements. McGovern finding O'Hare. Lawler for Cormac. For 11 is Powell. McGovern. Hughes. Toshak is offside. Linesman had his flag up. Lindsay, Callaghan, Lloyd, McGovern, Hector, Kevin Hector, well covered by Clements. Good header by McFarland under pressure from Toshak. Hennessy. Powell. Good header by Lloyd. Smith to Highway. Player who's more handicapped than most by these conditions. Davis. And blocked, but it's gone in. Good break by Davis. Hit it very hard, and although Clements got his body in the way, and they're wanting to have words with the linesman about offside. Whole Liverpool players coming over, but here's the replay. And that's a goal. So it's 1-0 to Derby, a goal that Liverpool have contested bitterly, but it stands after a quarter of an hour. Davis again. And a good save by Clements as Davis tried to hook it over him. Lindsay. Highway. Hennessy with the throw. McFarland. Webster. Davis. So difficult to shake off. Had to be shaken over in the end. Cormac. Nish was being pulled back and has been given the free kick, quite rightly. That's anybody's. McFarland. And again. Lawler. Cormac with this throw in for Liverpool. Keegan shaking off Nish. Toshak! They don't come much better than that in any sort of conditions. Egan was maybe a bit lucky when Nish slipped in the snow, but after that it was all skill, and what a great header it was from Toshak. 1-1, a quarter of the game gone. Hennessy, Lindsay, and again. Well, that'll be David Nish's. Hector. What beautiful play by Hector. And Liverpool are in trouble. Nobody willing to do anything. I think what the trouble was, the whistle had gone. Looked as though they were all fiddling there, but the whistle had gone way back when the ball was still bouncing around there just by the goal line. Foul by Hennessy. Highway. Cormac taking it out where he's got room. Now can he lift it back in? Trying to tee it up for himself. Headed away by Todd. Davis. Highway setting it up for Lloyd. Cormac's header down for Callaghan. The whistle had gone for a foul and a free kick to Liverpool. Three-quarters of the game gone. 1-1 the score. Smith. Toshak, a little dummy. Toshak off the body of Bolton. The second time that Bolton has saved Derby when Toshak has been clean through.
And that's how it finished, 1-1 in that terrible weather. That's it. Hope you've enjoyed it. See you next week with On the Ball and the big match. So Arsenal then this week creep within 2 points of Liverpool at the top. We leave you with the moment that broke the deadlock at Stamford Bridge yesterday.
Armstrong. Story. Ball turning it up again. Can Radford get his shot?